Okay. All right. So, good morning or good day, everyone. I'm Judy Garcia. I'm the Career Center counselor for the College of Science. And this is another in a series of informational interviews that we're hoping will engage science students toward thinking about their career plans and ideas for the future. So with that, I'm going to introduce Lovejot Singh. I'm going to have him kind of start with a little introduction, and then I'll go through a series of questions. Hopefully they'll be very valuable for all of you. So we'll get started. All right, so welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lovejot. Thank you, Judith, for having me here. I'm actually a recent graduate from San Jose State. I graduated in 2019, this past fall, and I'm currently working at a biotech called Natera. We primarily test genetic testing with prenatal testing and other cancers and oncology testing. That's primarily our work. We're located in San Carlos, so about south from San Francisco, a little bit north from here. I've been working there since the end of 2019, early 2020, and that's my start after my graduation from San Jose State.
Great. Well, all right. So, so my first question is, how did you decide on your major in the first place? How did you decide to major in a science area?
Definitely. So I probably should have mentioned I majored in microbiology and minored in chemistry at San Jose State. And I actually love answering this question because it's a interesting way that I got started in it. So back in 2014, I actually was infected with Salmonella typhi, which causes typhoid. And it was quite serious, landed in the hospital for about 2 weeks. And it was during this time being in the hospital exposed to, of course, the hospital staff, nurses, that I learned about, the careers available in a hospital. But specifically, it was the amount of blood that I was, having to do for testing that was being given. That amount of blood got me interested in, like, where is all my blood going? Where is that being tested? And so that got me interested in the clinical aspect of microbiology and sciences. And I discovered a career pathway that's not well known. It's called being a clinical lab scientist. And a lot of these scientists are usually microbiologists that start as, undergrads. And for my nurses, I discovered that, that's where my blood is going, that these little group of individuals work in hospital labs testing the specimens, such as blood and among other things. Mm-hmm. And that launched my interest. So this disease that I had that was, taking over me actually got my interest launched in the sciences. And I thought it was a pretty interesting way of getting involved in science. And ever since then, I've been on this path to get my clinical science degree and hoping to be a licensed clinical lab scientist one day.
Wow, that's very interesting. Wow. Yeah, that is quite a story.
Definitely, yeah.
An experience, yeah. All right, so did you complete an internship before you graduated San Jose State?
Definitely. So actually, I worked in 2 academic research labs while at San Jose State, and I also worked in 1 government lab internship over the summer while I was in my senior year at San Jose State. So research labs, those are in the biological sciences department. You can definitely find many professors that are performing research on campus and just reach out, ask if you're able to participate in their research as an undergrad, which I think is something you should definitely take advantage of. It helps build those lab skills that are so important to the sciences, especially if you're going to go into that kind of area doing lab work. And the government internship I did was at a government lab called Valley Water. They're actually responsible for testing all of the water that is running through Santa Clara Valley, so the water we consume and use day to day. And they have a microbiology and chemistry lab on site at their company, and I was interning over the summer helping in both departments, ensuring the quality of our water. These are the experiences I had as an intern while also doing my undergrad.
Very interesting. Wow. Okay, so my next question is, were there any unexpected experiences that led you to your current career? I think you kind of described that earlier. with your medical issues before.
Definitely, yeah. Mhm.
And did you begin on one career pathway and end up in another?
So the unexpected experience was that initial medical experience that I had that launched my interest in the sciences and the clinical sciences specifically. And I haven't really had another experience yet, and that hasn't changed my direction career-wise yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe down the road, but so
yeah.
far nothing yet. That was just my
Great.
initial life-changing
Yeah,
experience for sure.
that's yeah, quite a story. Um, all right, so my next question is, what key skills did you gain from San Jose State that have been most valuable in your career so far?
Lab skills, that would be the most gainful experiences I've gained.
Hmm.
The reason why I say is because when you're going on for jobs, looking for jobs, they'll look for experiences that you have. And especially being in the sciences, we have a lot of biotechs in this Bay Area specifically
Yes.
that are looking for these key lab skills. So being at San Jose State, taking classes like hematology, where we got to work with blood samples in the lab actually, and working in medical microbiology labs, or known as upper division microbiology labs. Those
Hmm.
type of skills, working with cell cultures, bacteria, and testing for the types of bacteria, those are really key skills. And also doing internships and research. All of these help you work along with others, group work, which is always important in no matter what field you're in. So building that teamwork, lab work, and just honing in those skills were very essential, I would say.
That's great. All right. Um, so my next question is about networking. So I'd like to find out, what kind of networking did you do while you were at San Jose State? Um, and whether it's, professional or volunteer work or student organizations, whatever. And are you involved in anything today?
Sure. So while at San Jose State, I would say I participated in the various clubs we have. One specifically for biology students is BSA, the Biological Students Association. That's a great way to meet your other fellow classmates, participate in lots of events, and also connect with faculty. A lot of the events they have is they bring in faculty members that are doing research on campus, so they can, talk about the research that is going on. So if anyone is interested, that's another great way to meet lab members as well. Other than that, we have lots of other activities on campus. One of my favorites was participating in the Cesar Chavez Community Garden we have on campus. It's actually
Mhm.
a really great way to meet other individuals, especially from other majors, which is something I feel
Yeah.
like really something that's good to do instead of just being in our sciences niche.
Yeah.
So participating in clubs and also volunteering at the community garden helped me meet lots of different individuals. Besides this, I would always ensure that I kept good relationships and connections with my professors and other faculty that I work closely with, because down the road, those are the type of connections that might come in hand, that you might need down the road. Maybe it's for letters of recommendation
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
whatnot, or even introducing you to some career path that you might not have known about. So those
Hmm.
are the type of things I participated while as an undergrad. Outside of that, LinkedIn, that's a really great tool that I love
Yes.
using, and I highly recommend that to other individuals as well.
Hmm. Hmm. Are you involved in any, just like professional organizations, any scientific organizations, anything like that at this point?
So organization types, I do participate in medical microbiology and clinical organizations on LinkedIn. So you can join these
Okay.
organizations on LinkedIn as well. There's lots of groups where, individuals in a certain career pathway are organized. So you can discuss opportunities and get help if you need any help, or ask questions with other community members. So LinkedIn has a lot of organizations organized into groups that you can follow and be an active member in. That's something I would recommend as well.
Great.
Other than
That's,
that, being a microbiology major, you can also join the American Society of Microbiology, which,
mhm.
for students, they have discounted prices for memberships, which I think
Mhm.
is a great thing to, make use of.
Yes, absolutely. That's great. All right. So finally, my last question is, what key advice do you have for students who are interested in working in your career field?
Okay, so if you're interested in becoming a clinical lab scientist, which is what I am ultimately wanting to do, so that's 4 years of undergrad plus 1 year of post-grad licensed program that you have to participate in so that you can, take your board exam. If you're interested in this path, I would say be prepared, have a plan. So you need to take into account the classes you need to take, that, prerequisites that you need to fill to get into the programs. So it's kind of like applying to a postgraduate medical program, basically. So you need to have certain classes. Keep good grades, of course. That's always important. Build your lab skills. So having clinical lab experience is really important. Hence why I'm working in my current role as a clinical lab associate, gaining that clinical lab experience, even though, yeah, it is in a biotech, that kind of clinical lab experience comes handy down the road if you're trying to become a clinical lab scientist. The reason why I say that is I get to work along with clinical lab scientists. So you get to, gain information from them as well of their career path journey. And it's a great way to learn about, what could help you when your time comes.
That's great. All right. So let's see. So I'm just, okay, I actually do want to ask you one more question.
Sure.
So do you have any mentors or anyone who is influencing you, or whether it was maybe somebody who really assisted you or mentored you while you were at San Jose State, or anybody who's mentoring you today?
While at San Jose State, as I was saying, I got to work along with many individuals, one of them being Dr. Alea. So while I was a tutor at San Jose State, she was my supervisor, and she was a great mentor to me. I would be able to ask her questions and have that great relationship with her, and we still do. So that was one mentor I had. But honestly, I would say I've had a lot of mentors down the road, and in any job that I would take, I would always ask lots of questions, because your fellow scientists, I would say, are your mentors, and you can gain a lot from any of them, whether they're not in the field that you're currently in or going down the road in. Science is quite universal, I would say, so anyone can mentor you. So I would say take advantage of anyone that you can. Ask those questions, build those relationships, because anyone who has those experiences that you've not had yet can mentor you in some sort of way.
Great. All righty. That's great advice. So thank you so much for sharing your time, and
Thank you for this.
to you as well. Yeah. All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.